They say cats are all the same. Aloof, graceful, fluffy enigmas who rule our homes with an iron paw and a soft purr. But anyone who's lived with both a male and a female cat knows there's something deeper going on. Something more nuanced, mysterious, and occasionally explosive. It's not just in your head. Male and female cats are in many ways fundamentally different creatures. Not better or worse, just wired in fascinatingly distinct ways. Today, we're diving whiskers, first into the 5 biggest differences between male and female cats. And to do that, we're bringing in the only feline therapist with both the credentials and the catitude to guide us, the legendary doctor, Mittens. He arrives dramatically, of course. Dr. Mittens doesn't walk into a room. He emerges, like a storm cloud with fur and doctoral authority. Clad in a burgundy velvet robe and sipping decaf tuna tea from a monogrammed mug, he settles onto his throne, which to the untrained eye might look like your laundry basket. Gender, he begins, is a construct, but also, it's kind of a big deal when you're peeing on curtains to mark territory. Let's begin where all good stories do, with the body. Male cats tend to be larger, broader in the face and shoulders, often carrying themselves with a kind of oafish charm. They have bigger paws, thicker necks, and, if unneutered, the jowls of a back-alley boxer. Females, by contrast, are typically more slender, more agile, and tend to move like whispers in silk. These differences aren't cosmetic. They come straight from biology. Testosterone drives muscle growth and bone structure, which is why even the most pampered indoor tomcat can look like a retired wrestler in a fuzzy coat. But size isn't everything. Where things really get interesting is behavior. Ask any multi-cat household and they'll tell you. Boy cats and girl cats play the game of life very differently. Males are often described as goofballs, affectionate, silly, constantly looking for attention and playtime. They'll flop in your lap, show you their belly, demand kisses like they've been starved of love for years. Females, a bit more strategic. They'll observe, they'll assess, they'll decide if you're worth their affection. And if you are, they will love you with a depth and loyalty that feels ancient. This isn't to say female cats are cold. Quite the opposite. They just value their own space, their own energy. They don't give affection away for free. They are, to put it lightly, queens. And once they claim you as part of their inner circle, you belong to them forever. Dr. Mittens leans forward, adjusting his tiny spectacles. Think of male cats as golden retrievers trapped in feline bodies. Think of female cats as CEOs who have already read your resume and found your qualifications lacking. Aggression and territoriality play their part, too. Intact male cats, in particular, are known for marking territory, with everything from urine to scratch marks to deeply unsettling stares. It's a broadcast of dominance, a way of saying, this is mine. That rug, mine. That wall, mine. That plant, especially mine. Female cats, especially mothers or those in heat, become equally fierce, but in different ways. Their protective instincts sharpen. They may not spray, but they will defend their space, their food, and their kittens with a ferocity unmatched. And then there's vocalization. Have you ever been serenaded at 3 a.m. by a male cat howling love ballads to the moon? Or listen to a female in heat yowl like she's auditioning for a horror movie. Hormones talk loud. Males often wander, seeking mates, yowling in the night like a tiny, fuzzy Romeo. Females, meanwhile, can be just as noisy during their cycle, often meowing incessantly, rolling on the floor and throwing side eyes like it's a Shakespearean tragedy. Of course, many of these differences are softened or disappear entirely after spaying or neutering, which removes most of the hormonal driving forces behind these behaviors. A neutered male might still be a lovable goof, but he's less likely to break into song at 2 a.m. A spayed female may still be a queen, but one who's finally let go of her medieval kingdom's politics. Doctor. Mittens pauses here, perched on a windowsill bathed in moonlight. We are not defined by our parts, he says, but by how we use the laser pointer. Even in relationships with humans, the differences continue. Male cats often bond with a kind of clingy, dramatic flair, like a soap opera star who always needs to be in the room with you, ideally lying across your laptop. Female cats may keep their distance at first, surveying your every move with an expression that says, "Are you worthy?" But once they let down their guard, the connection runs deep. Fierce loyalty, quiet presence, eye contact that feels like a blessing. Fun fact, studies show that male cats, particularly those neutered young, are more likely to engage in social play and prolonged physical contact. Female cats, on the other hand, tend to be more selective, but also more attentive to their environment, often noticing changes or intrusions far sooner than their male counterparts. It's the difference between an extrovert who wants cuddles and an introvert who will save your life during a fire. The contrast between them can be hilarious. 1 minute, your male cat is chasing a dust bunny like it's his mortal enemy. The next, your female cat is sitting perfectly still, glaring at him as if contemplating whether she'll allow him to survive the afternoon. One sleeps upside down in the sink. The other hasn't blinked in 30 minutes and is clearly working through advanced calculus. Dr. Mittens returns for one final observation, this time seated in a cardboard box labeled tuna files. "We are all cats," he says, tail flicking with finality. "But how we cat, that is personal, that is sacred, that is hilarious." So yes, male and female cats have differences, biological, behavioral, emotional, but they're not rules. They're tendencies, guidelines written in fur and instinct, shaped by evolution but personalized by every cat's lived experience. At the end of the day, gender is just a small chapter in the epic novel that is your cat's personality. And maybe the real secret is this: whether male or female, every cat is their own mystery, their own monarch, their own universe in motion. What they choose to show us, affection, independence, madness, genius, is their gift. Their way of saying, "You get to witness this." So the next time you wonder if your cat acts that way because he's a boy, or she's a girl, or they're simply on a higher spiritual plane, just remember, you're not here to decode them. You're here to respect the whiskers. If this video helped you laugh, learn, or feel just a little bit closer to understanding the cats in your life, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the feline psyche, and let us know in the comments which rules your home. the king or the queen. Dr. Mittens will be back, probably with a graph or a hairball or both.